Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please give us a call if you guys are looking to improve your credit score, lower your car payment, buy a car, trade in a car. If you're looking to purchase your first home, if you're looking to purchase a rental property, we can help you. Give us a call today, 877-205-7771. Talk to you guys soon, and thanks again.
Hello everyone, this is Calvin Russell, CEO and founder of 850 Club Credit Consultation. Hope everyone's doing well today. Today we're going to talk about life after bankruptcy. 5 things they don't tell you after you file. And this could be a chapter 7 or a chapter 13, and I'll break down the top reasons, okay? Number 1, you will get a lot of offers for an auto loan. That's not the problem. The problem is you're going to end up getting a high interest rate anyway. Now, what are you saying, Calvin? Well, I'm saying that, before the bankruptcy, your credit probably was not the best, and you probably still needed a car, right? But you were still going to get a high interest rate anyway. But now you got a bankruptcy, and you're still getting high interest rate. Here's the deal. The reason why dealerships, which I can do a whole nother video on how dealerships get your information, right? Because I was in the I wasn't in the marketing department, but I helped do some of the marketing for the dealership that I was working at the time. And a lot of dealerships spend money on what they call bankruptcy mailers, okay? So people that file bankruptcy, which is public information, by the way, and you can easily just, no, I'm giving out too much information, right? And this is not like bad or good information, but you can easily just Google a person's first name, last name, the state they're in, and just type in bankruptcy, and it'll pull right up because it's public information, okay? And so either way, there's a list of companies. Well, there's companies that sell people's personal information, pretty much telephone number, address, and again, it's public information when you file a bankruptcy. You get the letters in the mail, then you go into the dealership thinking that you're all special because they have an after bankruptcy program, but it's essentially the exact same thing. There is nothing special. It's the exact same thing. You will pay high interest unless you rebuilt your credit after the bankruptcy. Unless you rebuild your credit high enough, of course, to qualify, and you got a car in between that time, or you didn't necessarily put your car in the bankruptcy, you kept your payments on time, or you get a co-signer. So, but unless those three things happen, then essentially you're going to end up getting a high interest rate anyway. So that's number 1. Number 2, you cannot buy a home right away. With the Chapter 7 bankruptcy, in most states, you have to wait at least 2 years to purchase a home. You're probably like, well, Calvin, it's probably going to take me a long time anyway. Incorrect. A lot of our clients that have our 850 Club, game plan, we talk to them all the time. They're qualifying for homes within, 6 months. Sometimes a little bit longer. Everyone's situation is different, but on average, I would say 6 months, maybe a little bit under 9 months. But most of our clients are qualifying for homes around that time frame. Okay. And I say that to say that if you file bankruptcy, of course, let's say you go to Chapter 7, and then of course they wipe everything away. That sounds good, but you got to wait 2 years to actually go into a mortgage. Okay, so that's a Chapter 7. So if you go to Chapter 13, then you may qualify in most states after 1 year of making all of your payments on time. 12 months to be exact. You must have 12 months of on-time payments after a bankruptcy in order to qualify for a mortgage, okay? That means you cannot apply until the 13th month, technically. That's, again, something they're probably not going to tell you. Now, they do have the credit course right before bankruptcy that a lot of people don't pay attention to, remember? Or at that point in time, they're like, oh, well, forget it. Because by that point, you've already kind of prepaid for it, if not paid in full or whatever the case may be, okay? But that's something to keep in mind, especially if you're looking for, home ownership as a goal later down the line. Number 3, it will stay on your credit longer than you think. Okay, so with a Chapter 7, it's going to stay on your credit report for 10 years, and a Chapter 13 is going to stay on your credit report for 7 years. Why the difference? With a Chapter 7, they pretty much did you a favor. They wiped all the debt clean, and so the least you can do is have it on your credit report for an additional 3 years. With a Chapter 13, it's going to be on there for 7 years, mainly because most of the time it's a glorified payment plan, and most plans are within a 3 to 4 year period. So you already kind of went through hell for 4 years. So I mean, now 3 more years is not going to be that big of a difference, right? So, but either way, that's the time frame that is going to be on your credit report to essentially when it's going to age off and just fall off on its own. Number 4, items included in the bankruptcy will be on your credit report. Not all, but most, okay? And a lot of times I've seen people credit reports after bankruptcy, they have these lists of items, because with a 13, it's just a glorified payment plan. It'll just say, it may or may not say included in the bankruptcy, of course, until it'll say wage earner plan, right? But a chapter 7 is most definitely gonna say chapter 7 bankruptcy, and it'll just be sitting there. Now, can you dispute those? You can dispute anything. But again, will it come off as fast as anything else? That's the process. So again, just little things like that. It's not like everything is like wiped away clean, regardless if you go with a 7 or a 13, and nobody can see it. They're going to be able to see it. So if you have the bankruptcy, then of course you still got the items that's on your credit report, which again, you can always hire us to try to get those removed. But at the same time, it's still going to be on there just to make sure the expectations are right. And number 5, sometimes the math simply doesn't make sense, okay? I'll give an example. I've seen people do crazy things. Like, for example, I saw this one girl, she had about $5,000 in like collections. It was medical bills, just a whole bunch of just crap, right? That she had collections for. She called the dealership and she says, hey, I'm looking to get a car. It's tax refund season. Guess how much money she had down? $3,000. Like, well, Calvin, that's not $5,000. Yeah, but had she took that $3,000 and had a strategic plan to move forward with her credit, she could have not only just like literally waited like a couple months or something like that, but instead of putting $3,000 down and paying over 20% interest, she could have put $3,000 down to her credit, kind of built it up for like maybe 45 to 60 days, and could have easily been somewhere between 14 to 18% with no money down, possibly. Okay, so again, it's just having that type of strategy. The reason why I bring that up is because some people, they'll be charging like $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 for a bankruptcy, right? And a lot of times they could have took that same money and called their creditors and did a settlement. They could have took that same money and hired somebody to kind of help them with the process, like a financial advisor or whatever the case may be. Again, sometimes throwing money at an issue is not going to fix it. We want things to go away, but a lot of times it's just a setup, so, and I get it. You're probably like, well, man, it makes sense to pay, $2,000, not to pay $10,000. Okay. But again, most people's, because they don't have a mortgage by that time, especially, well, for some do. I'm not going to say everybody, but most people that, of course, that file bankruptcy don't necessarily have a mortgage. I say that to say most of their debt is student loan debt, which can't be in bankruptcies anyway. So what's really your debt? Some medical bills? What's really your debt? A repossession? So there are ways to get around certain things if you can. Now, another thing too is that sometimes people don't have, a credit situation. Sometimes you have an income situation. You're simply not making enough money. And you're trying to live a certain lifestyle. You're seeing people on social media. You're getting to a certain age. You feel like you should have more. You're buying stuff you should be buying. You're paying on Christmas this year for Christmas 2-3 years ago. So, I mean, again, sometimes you're not making enough money. And it's okay to say that. You need to start having something come on the side, or you need to just quit your job and find another job, or start a business. So there are ways that you can do it. But again, you just can't listen to these radio advertisements or see stuff on TV and just give up like that if you think that you can get out of the situation. There are times where I think bankruptcy does make sense. I met a young lady who got into a car accident and she had $200,000 worth of medical bills because she had brain surgery. So I get that, that would make I'm not saying go file bankruptcy, but if she didn't have insurance, so that would get close to making sense, right? So, but again, you have to think about stuff like that because it plays a major role in your life. Okay, so if you know of anyone that is considering bankruptcy, or if you're going through the process right now, it's fine. But again, just make sure your expectations are there. I'm not necessarily saying that you should file or not file. That's up to you. But at the same time, just make sure your expectations are set right. So if you like this video, like it. If you want to share it, share it. And as always, be sure to subscribe as we have a lot of great content on the way. Thank you guys so much and have a good day.